Hi there, and welcome to this hopefully very short introduction video to the GeoDebugger. I built this small tool to test and debug geo-based information because it's quite hard to see where a polygon, a point, or a line actually is if you just see the number. Our project consists of two main projects and one sub-project. On the one hand, I have the geodebug.net. This is the library that I integrated in my application where I want to debug. So this one is receiving information and forwarding them. And we have our GeoDebug server. The server is just a small Node.js application. It can receive points, lines, and polygons on multiple layers and can forward this information. We can communicate with it on the one hand with the library that I showed you. We can use our Postman collection that I will show you. And for display, we have a very small web UI. The purpose of this web UI is just to really fast show where the position is. For further analysis, I would advise to use another application. In my example, we are working with QGIS. So let's just jump right in. If we start our server, let me restart that one. Start our server. I always use the git bash, but you can use, I think you can use any bash that you want. So we call node index.js. And our server is running. First thing that I want to show you is our Postman collection. We have several commands here. We are based on polygons, points, lines, and we have some general commands. For example, we have the overview command that just gives us information, how many information in general is just available. So we see that there's maximum 1 point with no values inside. We don't have any lines, we don't have any polygons. And if those data were available, we would have some timestamps for the latest update. We can also say get all to see which data is available in detail. Here it's quite simple. We have nothing available. And we have our get update. Get update only provides us the difference between the last update, the last time we called the update, and now. So if we call it now, first time, we have just empty list because there's nothing inside. So if I want to set a polygon, I added here as the body as JSON. Quite simple. It's GeoJSON. The definition of GeoJSON, I can link that in the repository. So if I send this one, I get a status that it's all okay. And if I go to get all, I receive my polygon. Just, I think, 5 points, no properties at all. I could add properties if I wanted to. Same happens with points. So if I click set point, and this time I don't want to get all, I just want to get the update. I will get points and I will get polygons because that's the first time I called this get update function. So if I call here, I have my point, and down here I have my polygon. If I call it again, I will just receive nulls because there is no difference since the last call. For test, we can also set a few lines. So we set lines, get a status, and if we get update, we will only receive the line. So this is how in general our server works. We have sub-functions also for getting a specific polygon, getting the list of polygons. For a cleanup, we also have a delete command that deletes all our polygons or a specific one. Same for points and lines, and for everything in general. So if I call delete all and click send, and now I go to get all, it's all empty. So that's the theory, and in reality it looks a little bit more interesting. Let's start by just sending a polygon. Set polygon, where are you? Here, set polygon. So we've set a polygon, and now we want to display it in our website. I built a small website that is directly also delivered from our Geo server. So you go to localhost, localhost port 8083 on the index, and here currently you have layer 0 of polygons selected, but there might be no data at all. If you activate the zoom here, it will automatically zoom to the position where this data comes from. So if we say we want to go to 0, here we go, here is our position 0. If we go to 1, then this thing is gone. If we want to, for example, set our point, I set a point, and you can see currently layer 1 is selected. It's always the same layer selected. So if I go to lines now, 1 is selected, for polygon also 1 is selected, and the fat shows you, so the bold here shows you which one includes data. For example, we don't have a line, then it's not bold, but we have a point, then it's bold. I select the point, and here we go, here's our point. So that's how our server works. Now let's jump a bit into the GeoDebugger.net. This is the library in C# that I created to be integrated in my application. And it has, it just consists of one file, the library itself, and has different commands. On the one hand, we have set URL. So that sets the basic URL. The URL that I showed you is just the URL of our Geo server if you run it on your system. If you want to change the port, you also have to change the port here. Then we have add feature. It doesn't matter which kind of feature. You can add a point, a polygon, or a line, but you cannot mix them. You can say you want to clear all polygons, clear all points, or clear all lines, or clear a specific one. Of course, you can add a feature for a specific layer. You can say, okay, I want to send this to the server, and then I want to reset my data, so all points, polygons, and lines are deleted. If you do debug, it is actually sent to the server. And if you say wait debugger, the program will stop until everything was successfully sent, because this here normally is asynchronous to not block our application too much. So I've added a small command line tool. If I start this one and now minimize our application, I can add several stuff. Let's first go to polygons here and go to 1. So I'm on polygons layer 1 now, and if I say add polygon 1, I add one polygon to layer 1. If I do this again, add polygon 1, I did it again. So you see nothing happened here because we have to debug it. I thought debug is a too long word, so in my CLI it's just go. So now I send it, and here we have our 2 polygons. If I say clear polygons, they are all deleted, but not on our server. So I have to say go, and they are gone. So let's just re-add them. Add polygon, and go. And we have all our polygons here. They are built like random values, so don't worry that it's now different than it was before. And now we want to display those information in QGIS, because here you cannot do very much. You cannot measure them, you cannot color them. This tool here is just to see the progress. So if you have a software that runs quite slow and you want to see live how it's evolving, you can use this web UI. For further analysis, I would advise to use QGIS. I mean, there are definitely other tools out there as well, but I use QGIS. So if you want to add a layer here, you have to go to Layer, Create Layer. Sorry, it's German. Add Layer, not Create Layer. Add Layer, Add Vector Layer. Then you have to select the protocol HTTPS, and here we have to add our server URL. So //localhost 8083/API/get. And now the question is what you want to have. It's always the plural. So it's going to be polygons, or it's going to be points, double P, or it's going to be lines. So, but you can only receive one specific layer because QGIS only works with one specific feature collection, and each layer is a feature collection. So I go to polygons/0. I add it, and 0 seems to be wrong. Yes, because 0 doesn't include anything. You can see this here. Then you see such a table. Then QGIS basically says, I don't know what this is. So let's say 1. And if we add this one, you will see it's a polygon. So it's a feature collection of polygons. Each collection here is, or each last element is a collection. So you can have multiple polygons. And this back here is a collection. You can say it's like the layer. I use this, for example, to debug in different stages of the program. I iterate through the data first and create the first layer. Then I merge some data, I create the second layer. I merge some data, I create the third layer, and so on and so on. So after the application has finished, I have all my different steps in different layers on my server and can start to debug them from my QGIS. It's very important to load a layer in QGIS only after it exists. Otherwise, you will have such a table as you've seen before. So this is how our GeoDebug server works. And the integration of our library into your own application will be the topic of another video tutorial. So thank you very much for watching and hoping to see you in the next video.